score from Toronto, Ontario, number 34, Kat Watson. The rest of the engineers and their head coach, Dave Smith. He's assisted by Chuck Weber and Peter Slant. Volunteers in the most now, ladies and gentlemen, please turn your attention to the Zamboni area near section 10. We'd like to take a moment to recognize the loss of one of our dearest friends at Houston Fieldhouse. Manny Ben, along with his good friend Ray Matson, staffed the back of the Fieldhouse for the past 35 years. Manny worked every hockey game, every major event with a smile and commitment and his unforgettable hearty laugh. We lost Manny suddenly on September 14th. And to honor his commitment to RPI and his love of the Detroit community, we are joined by over 50 of his friends and family seated in section 10. So please, we ask you to take a moment and pause as we honor Manny Ben. Thank you. And now we welcome Manny's wife, Donna, and the two children, Justin and Kristen, and hockey captains for both teams will honor his legacy with a ceremonial puck drop. Thank you. Lewis and Manny will always remember you, and thank you to your family for sharing you with us all these years. Ladies and gentlemen, today, of course, is Veterans Day.
And good evening, everybody. Welcome inside the Houston Fieldhouse on the campus of Rensselaer Polytechnic Institute. It's time once more for RPI Engineers Hockey on ESPN+. We're getting ready to go here, and we will be With you in just a moment here on the broadcast as we get ready to go for the RPI Engineers against the Harvard Crimson. Puck drop just a few moments from now as we work out a few technical issues here up in our broadcast booth. We'll be with you for the beginning of this broadcast in just a few moments. The Harvard Crimson coming into this one a perfect 4-0 to begin the season, while the Engineers 5-4-0, looking to break a bit of a losing streak that started right after they beat Union College here at the Houston Fieldhouse on blackout night. We'll tell you more about that in a moment as we're just about ready to go, as we're working to fix a few things with our headsets here in the broadcast booth. Dan Friggen is alongside. I'm Dan Ball. We're admittedly not entirely sure who can hear what and what can hear who at this point, but we're hoping to have that resolved in just a few moments. Puck is down, the Engineers in control. Thanks so much for joining us here on ESPN Plus. A turnover, a pass in front. "30 seconds gone by, no score. Engineers in the Crimson of Harvard as Nick Strom will bunt it the rest of the way. The starting lineup, well, we have a moment. Matthew Coronado, Sean Farrell, and Joe Miller. The starting line for Ted Donato's group with Harvard: Henry Thrun, Ryan Seedham on defense, Mitchell Gibson in the goal. Dave Smith beginning with the top line of Jacob Lee, Ryan Massey, Brendan Booty, Laurie Surdy, and Mason Klee on defense, and Jack Watson in the goal to our right as the Engineers go from right to left. Across your screen, a centering feed, back to the point. Here's Thrun, backdoor pass, and a save by Watson. The rebound loose under the left leg, knocked to the near side boards. One-timer from the point, Jack Barr the shot, and Jack Watson will hang on. A minute and 17 seconds gone by to open things up as we take a look at the replay. The shot coming from the point from Jack Barr, swallowed up by Jack Watson, who on the season in 9 games, a record of 5-4, a 2.52 goals against average, 908 save percentage. On the other side, Mitchell Gibson, a draft pick of the Washington Capitals. 2 games so far this season, unbeaten in both, a .931 save percentage, a goals against average of an even 1. So a very impressive start for him, a very impressive start for this entire Harvard team, who we'll tell you more about once Dan Friggen and I are fully able to join you here on this Friday evening in the Capital Region. Here is Karpa at the near side point, whipped in deep there by Barr, keeping possession for the Crimson. They've had possession in the offensive zone essentially since the opening draw. Backdoor feed looking for Barr. Unable to corral that pass. A battle ensues in the near side corner. Smolinski tries to knife it free. Hallbauer's clearing attempt gets blocked. The Engineers captain will try it once more. Near side, here comes Walsh. Ahead for Mazzotti. The pass handcuffed him just a bit. Offside was called for the moment, but was waved off the bench. Here's Herman, backdoor, and Gagnon couldn't get a shot away. Near side feed there. Rory Herman found Gagnon on that near side post. Knocked back out to center where Philip Tresca will regroup. No score, 2.5 minutes gone by. Back into the corner, Laurie Surdy. Here is Danny Ciccarello, who has become a relative mainstay on this 4th line as Dave Smith continues to find the pairings that are going to work for the long term on offense. This Engineers team so far to begin the season, offensively speaking, tied for 36th in the nation, 2.56 goals per game. They've scored 4 in their last 4 games in total. So the ECAC hockey play, offensively speaking, not going quite at the clip that Dave Smith and company are looking for, and that's why you see a number of different line combinations in the early going here for the RPI Engineers. Deflected the rest of the way there by Massey. Mitchell Gibson directing traffic. Taken out to center by DeVoe. He's met by Lee. Brendan Booty knocks the puck free. Here is Strom on the near side. Booty now on the far side in front of the Crimson bench. Will flip it the rest of the way in deep. Ryan Healy begins the breakout. 3 aside, they skate through the neutral zone. Backhanded in deep. The Crimson will go for a change as Nick Strom backhands it along. Brendan Booty, a good job to protect the puck. Now ahead for Jacob Lee. Goes ahead for Ryan Massey. Catches it with the skate. Now to the stick. Massey! And a blocker saved by Gibson. A partial break for Ryan Massey to try to break the deadlock in the early going here at the Houston Fieldhouse, but he was denied. Surtees shot from the point goes wide. John Evans, the first year, now back to the point, but the puck bobbles its way through the legs of Klee. Klee up for Evans. Only as far as the defensive line. Healy, a backhand feed, finds Joe Miller. Miller once more leaves for Matthew Coronado on the near side. Looks to center a pass. Went too far ahead of Sean Farrell, who was waiting on the back door. Centering feed, saved by Watson. Kept in at the point by Barr. One-timer by Farrell, saved by Watson. And he will hang on and get a face-off. 4.5 minutes gone by. No score here in Troy as the shots in the early going 3-0 in favor of the Crimson. There's the one-time attempt you saw on the near side from Farrell. One of the not even many countless draft picks on this roster for the Crimson, which we'll get into in just a few moments. If you're just joining us, thanks so much for joining us here on ESPN Plus. We're working through a couple of minor technical issues here in the broadcast booth where we can't hear each other, can Dan Fridgen and I, but we're hoping to hear ourselves and you all in the very near future. Ciccarello at the center line will backhand it the rest of the way. Around Ryan Seedham he goes. Near side swooped away by LaFerriere, who's able to knock it to the center line. Agnew at center will whip it in deep. Gibson will stop it behind his own cage. Stolen away there as the wrap attempt was blocked. Knocked out to the center line, though, popped up and over the sprawling defender Agnew, who was trying to glove that one down. LaFerriere, a backhand feed on the tape of Merrick Hayduke, who hits the brakes. Finds a trailer coming off the bench. He was looking for Kyle LaCoin, but that one wouldn't go. Centering feed, one-time attempt there by Shore, got blocked. Kept in by Ian Moore, who takes a big hit in the process. Brought along after the hit by Mazzotti. 2-on-1 Mazzotti, centers. Here's TJ Walsh, and a glove save by Gibson. What a stop! Mitchell Gibson robs TJ Walsh in an attempt to break the tie. Big stop by Mitchell Gibson on the chance from TJ Walsh. A good space pass from Sutter Mazzotti to find the streaking winger Walsh, but a glove save. Mitchell Gibson, one save better to keep this one even as Smolinski tried to keep it in at the line. Unsuccessful in doing so, it is offsides. Smolinski gets the feed from Hallbauer. Now Mazzotti into the corner. Goes one-on-one against Ryan Seedham. Kept in at the point there by Hallbauer, who is paired with Smolinski and playing on his offhand is the captain for this Engineers team. Big hit laid there by Mazzotti on Philip Tresca, who was able to get the puck in deep. So the physicality being cranked up a notch here in the early going. Near side Mazzotti, long passes stolen away. Brought along by Hayduke, but he goes offside, so the faceoff will come back to the neutral zone with 13:43 to go, opening period. Still no score. Shots are 4-1. The lone shot for the Engineers coming on that chance just a few moments ago from TJ Walsh. Massey is able to help along the face-off win from Jacob Lee. Nick Ardenaz pops it out to the center line. Swept along by Booty. Knocked back, was looking to try to get it all the way to the point. Good defensive play, though, by Lee, who sweeps it along to Jack Agnew. His pass unable to connect with Ardenaz, so the two defenders at the top of the alphabet will have to regroup in their own end. Kept in at the line there by Mason Langenbrunner. We'd like to welcome...
And Ben Jerry's is located near section 21. Stop by and grab your favorite flavor. From cow to cone, enjoy your scoop. Ben Jerry's, proud to support RPI Athletics.
Working diligently as he does, the former top line. The last time that we had a men's hockey game here at the Houston Fieldhouse was Lee. A shot coming from the point from Mason Klee fluttered its way to the goal. Gibson will hang on there. Take another look at the shot from Mason Klee. You could see it took a couple of deflections. Was fluttering right off the stick there from Klee, which makes it a little more difficult. Kind of a changeup for Mitchell Gibson to try to handle. Here is Miller on the near side. Moore had it knocked away at the line as he was looking to jump in on the rush, was the defender for the Harvard Crimson. Klee goes parallel along the center line, sends it back in below Gibson's net. Moore rings it along the boards, deflected ahead to the line, but not out. And now eventually does get its way to center. That's where Laurie Surdy finds it. Heidemann will sweep it in deep, and the Engineers will go for a change. 8 minutes gone by here, opening period. Still no score. Harvard Crimson, RPI Engineers. The Crimson ranked 13th and 12th respectively in the USCHO and USA Today polls after beginning the season a perfect 4-0. Knocked in on Gibson, who will cover up and take a face-off. Puck is down, face-off controlled by the Crimson. Again, we welcome you here on ESPN+. Dan Fridgen is alongside. He's right here, I promise. He's standing right next to me, and we'll get to him in just a few moments as we work through a couple of minor technical issues here with our microphones and headsets here at the Houston Fieldhouse. It's a building process, and we're proud to be part of it here on RPI Engineers Hockey on ESPN+. I'm Dan Ball, though, so I'll be with you for the time being. Pass along the neutral zone, picked off on a nice play there by Gagnon. Steps in and shoots, deflected up and out of play off the stick of Alex Gaffney, who was back in defense after turning the puck over on that pass through the neutral zone. Gagnon does force an offensive zone faceoff, however, with just over 11 minutes to go here in the opening period. The Crimson will change units, as will the Engineers. And a face-off will happen to the left of Mitchell Gibson. Gibson on the season wins against Dartmouth, who will be in the building tomorrow, as well as Yale. Those two teams played one another, did Harvard and Yale last weekend. Mazzotti, now it's sneaking in, pass to the center line is picked off. Led ahead for Tresca on the near side, looking to find a trailer. That one's knocked away. Cleared out of harm's way for the time being by Agnew, but kept in at the point. Healy cross point, shot missed the net wide. Mazzotti's able to find the rebound. Here is Niikanen on the near side. Gets a pass through to Beaton. He'll go for the wraparound, look to center a pass. Mazzotti was headed to the bench. Ardenaz will just send it in deep to allow Mazzotti to do so. Puck rebounds up and goes out of play with 10:24 to go in period one. Face-off will be in the offensive end. At some point, Dan Fridgen and I will write the tell-all book that will tell all when it comes to our fantastic experiences working together, having a lot of fun doing so. Wait are in patrol here at the Houston Fieldhouse on a Friday. Flipped all the way up and into the defensive end. Surdy will get there, however, before it crosses the end line. That one's offsides as the pass from Heidemann was intended for John Evans, but Evans was a little too far ahead of the play. of that one at 7 o'clock as well. So if you're planning on coming to the Houston Fieldhouse, we're excited to have you and hope to see you tomorrow evening. Here's Heidemann looking to center. Evans, he had a stick lifted. Vo was the one that was on his way back to get it. Led ahead by Jack Barr. He's at the center line, and he'll whip it back below Jack Watson's net, who hasn't seen a whole ton of action in front of him in the recent moments, as the Engineers have been controlling a decent amount of the play. Here is Mash. Brendan Booty, center shot, and a save by Gibson off of Jacob Lee, who had positioned himself right in the crease. He had a chance to give the Engineers their first lead of the evening, but he's denied by Mitchell Gibson, who has played extremely well in the early going. 9:18 to go opening period here in Troy. No score between the Engineers and the Crimson of Harvard. You're watching RPI Engineers Hockey on ESPN+.
Hi, I'm Andy James at Rensselaer Honda, and this is my buddy Bo. Looking to sell your car or truck? We want to buy it. Are you looking for a great used car? We have a huge selection. That's why Rensselaer Honda has been your Honda dealer for 44 years.
For the love of the game, the team, or for two, Recovery Sports Grill. At Recovery Sports Grill, you'll always have courtside seats to exciting live sports coverage. And for outstanding loyalty perks, join our Hall of Fame, Recovery Sports Grill, serving up smiles every season.
9:18 to go, first period here in Troy. Still no score. RPI Engineers and Harvard Crimson here on ESPN+. Face-off will be to the right of Mitchell Gibson, who made a nice save on Jacob Lee, who was in to take that draw, but it's controlled by the top line of the Crimson. Stolen at the blue line, but taken right on back. Led ahead by Joe Miller, who's met with a hit there by Laurie Surtees, so Ryan Seedham will regroup it. Seedham and Aucoin paired together on defense right now for Ted Donato's group. Brendan Booty in front of the Harvard Crimson bench will backhand it in deep. Donato in his 19th season leading the Crimson, a record of .278, .232, and .64. This has been his one job in coaching, and, well, he's made quite the name for himself doing exactly that. Kept in at the line by Henry Thrun, but taken back through center, led ahead by Klee. Klee's pass deflected by Walsh, who will send it the rest of the way. He had Ian Moore, who was right atop him. Dave Smith on the other side for the Engineers in his 6th season, a record of 56, 92, and 12. Just a little too far ahead for Coronado. Back to get it to Strom. No icing, however. That allows Smolinski to start the breakout. Smolinski for Walsh at the center line. Nice move around LaFerriere, but he had another Crimson player in front of him, so he couldn't find the puck on the back end. Now it's Smolinski. This way for Walsh, who will flip it on in deep and go for a line change. This weekend for the Engineers, a battle of both teams who they faced in the playoffs last season. A wraparound attempt stuffed by Watson. Zach Karpa tried to use the speed below the goal to get it in front and through Watson, but the Engineers netminder says no way, so we'll take a face-off to his left. With 7:43 to go, look at the replay and a chance for Zach Karpa, the sophomore out of Newport Beach, California, a draft pick of the New York Rangers in the 2022 draft. And once Dan Fridgen's able to join the broadcast here, we'll talk a bit more about this, but 13 NHL draft picks in the lineup for Ted Donato's group tonight, 15 overall on the roster. John Farinacci, as well as a backup goaltender for this team, not in the lineup as the two other draft picks, as a pass from Agnew gets deflected up and out of play. The faceoff will come back to the neutral zone. But it is very remarkable the level of talent on this roster and the expectations from a professional standpoint. a team here in Harvard that was the youngest in the NCAA a season ago, now the 4th youngest, which of course, you know, a big jump. They're averaging around 21 years of age. On the nose as a shot goes off the side of the goal from the near side. Beaton will skate it out of harm's way, out to the center line and backhand it in deep. Take a hit, but go on the forecheck in the process. Knocked away there by Gaffney, but the Engineers control. Here is Beaton below the net. Beaton leaves for Evans in the near corner, who drops for Heidemann once more. He was unable to corral. Loose puck taken along by Alex Laferriere. One of, you guessed it, the draft picks on this team. He wears a hit there from Kyle Hallbauer, allowing the Engineers to break it out, but a pass was a little bit too far. Brought along by Evans. He shoots, deflected. It goes into the near corner. Engineers in the midst of a change. Backhand feed through the legs from Philip Tresca. Starting to break out. Long pass ahead, too far. Surdy will go back. No icing, however, as it's ruled that the Crimson were able to touch up just before the line. Ryan Maschie gets a deflected feed from Brendan Booty. On the near side, it's Maschie who will wear a hit from Austin Wong into the corner. Kept in at the line by Surdy. Makes some room and shoots, deflected, and it goes just past the far side post. Good chance for Laurie Surdy, throwing it into a pile of bodies. Now it's Ryan Maschie below the goal, was looking to center a pass, but didn't connect with Jacob Lee. Merrick Hayduk begins the breakout as we're on the broadcast here on ESPN+. Here is Tresca, shot from the top of the circles, goes over the top of the net. Led ahead by Mazzotti. Walsh tried to bunt it back to him, but he couldn't connect. Here's Hayduk once more. He shoots, blockered away by Watson. Rebound up in the air for Shore. Now a near side chance, and that one's blockered away as well. Austin Wong the chance to try to break the deadlock here at the Houston Fieldhouse. Strom will slow things down, marked by his fellow number 23 in your programs. That was Shore. Walsh is able to spray it off of the near side boards. Sent all the way in deep. Mason Klee will go back and touch up. It's icing against the Crimson, so the face-off will go into the offensive end for the Engineers. 5:20 to go opening period, and still no score. Shots on goal in this one unofficially 9-5 in favor of the Crimson. The play, however, has been very even, if not favoring the Engineers, at least in the last few moments. Because of that, controlled, however, in the defensive zone by the Crimson and backhanded along by Willem DeVoe. He goes in against Nick Ardenaz into the corner, but that one's knocked away. Ciccarello ahead for Herman on the near side. His pass kind of got caught in between passing or clearing it. Gagnon will try to clean it up a bit. He sends it just over the line. Stolen away by Herman. Into the near corner now, it's Ciccarello, met by 2 defenders, but he gets it free for Herman. Herman whips it in deep. Gagnon was taken down. He was going one-on-one against Baker Shore for a little bit of skating room, or breathing room. He got neither. Now it's Ardenaz on the near side. The 7th defender here, the freshman on this team for Dave Smith, will flip it in deep and go for a line change. Well, now we try a big test as the Crimson have possession in their own end. Dan Fridgen, hello.
How are you?
Oh, Dan Fridgen, good to hear from you. Are you having a good night so far?
Yeah, good game.
Good game so far. Shot from the near side from Coronado. That one went up and above the net. Here is Beaton on the near side. Evans on the far side gets it back to the point. Here is Klee, whipped on goal, deflected up. Kept in though, went off the end glass. Now it's Surdy, who activated from the point to the top of the circles. Laurie Surdy. Got it down low, a battle ensues. We welcome you here on ESPN Plus. This is very exciting to say. Alongside the coach, Dan Fridgen, I'm Dan Ball. Thanks to our production staff for being able to figure that one out as Surdy deflects that one up and above the net. Dan Fridgen, it's never easy to put a broadcast together, and it's funny because the last time you and I were supposed to broadcast together, I might have just jinxed it in my own head, but the last time we were supposed to broadcast together was the blackout. I didn't get to talk to you then.
That's right.
Your thoughts on what you're seeing right now between the Crimson and the Engineers?
Well, I think RPI has to continue playing a physical game,
yeah,
and they're being real aggressive. because our Harvard is a skilled team. They like to skate, and the only way you're going to slow them down is by taking the body on them. And both teams have had some pretty good chances. Both goaltenders coming up big.
Sedum has it after the faceoff, winning the offensive end, sends it intentionally wide off the end boards. Lee's able to find it, has it knocked away, but the second line of defense there was Nick Strom. Now it's Agnew at the center line. He'll flip it in deep. Back to grab it is Ryan Sedum, a backhand along for Gaffney. His pass out to the center line finds the speedy Alex Laferriere. Marked by Strom, and Strom's able to knock the puck away. Gaffney was looking to put it through the legs of Ryan Maschie, unable to do so, so the Crimson will regroup in the neutral zone. In to grab it is Gaffney, goes one-on-one against Agnew. The Engineers defender won the race. Coronado had it for the moment, kept in at the line. No, it was not. Henry Thrun was unable to keep it. So the face-off will come back into the neutral zone with under 3 minutes to go in the first period in a game that's deadlocked at 0.
Yes, both teams. Harvard was being slowed down a couple of times through the neutral zone. RPI is doing a good job with their neutral zone defense, forcing Harvard to dump, but a couple of times they've carried it in.
Mazzotti wins the face-off. He was going against Coronado. Now it's Lori Surti ahead for Mazzotti, who had the puck rebound off of his skate. Found, and a shot coming. Turned aside, Altti Nikkanen with the shot. It is Mazzotti, Nikkanen, and Walsh. Nice to see Altti Nikkanen back in the lineup here at the Houston Fieldhouse. He scored the season-opening goal against Mercyhurst back in the beginning of October, but was injured in a collision with the referee right after the goal. Didn't see him for a while, but back in the lineup now and a part of this third line. Centering pass, a good stick lift there. Mazzotti lifted the stick of Coronado, who was parked in front, or Miller rather. He was the one who was supposed to be on the receiving end of that pass. Now it's Coronado back in his own end. Matthew Coronado, a first-round pick, 13th overall by the Calgary Flames in last year's NHL draft. The highest draft position out of anybody on the roster as the puck is iced. The faceoff will be in the offensive end for the Engineers. You look at a team with 13 draft picks in the lineup, 15 on the roster. It's a younger team, but the talent is there. What does that number of draft selections on a team say to you as a coach?
Well, it says that Harvard is a place that is desirable for potential NHL draft choices. Ted Donato is a great coach, does a real good job with the teams involved with USA Hockey. And, I mean, that's, you know, they've got the most in the NCAA as far as draft choices on their team.
Very remarkable, and something that's going to keep the Crimson in contention, not only in the ECAC, but probably from a national perspective as well. As here's Gagnon, near side, tried to whip it out in front, gloved away, kept in at the point by Ciccarello, who flipped it towards the net, went above the net. One-on-one, they battle into the corner, knocked along. Mason Langenbrunner will get it started, and that's another element of this Crimson team. Not only do they have players who have been drafted, they have players with NHL pedigree in their family. Mason Langenbrunner, one of them. You'll hear a couple of names. If you're an NHL fan and a longtime fan, you'll hear some of the names as that's an icing. The faceoff will head back in front of Mitchell Gibson. You hear a Langenbrunner, you hear a Hayduk, and you hear an Aucoin on this roster. So it's just, it's remarkable, the group that's been put together, and not a bad thing to have the bloodlines of those kind of players on your team as well.
Well, you kind of feel old when you're seeing players out there, siblings of guys that I tried to recruit, one being Adrian Aucoin.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he ended up going to BU. And
Okay.
Another one is Eric Keeley, and his son is number 9, Ryan. Eric was a forward right shot, and Ryan is a right shot defenseman. But I tell you what, if you could stop his dad, then he was doing well.
It's always very fascinating to see the change as well, as Mason Langenbrunner, also a defenseman on this team. But anyways, more about the game itself. Sent to the center line, backhanded along. Here is Evans, tried to get a little room to shoot. He whips it on goal, gloved down by Gibson, who will hang on as well. Gibson, a draft choice of the Washington Capitals, starting in net. That's the only change that Ted Donato has made in his lineup through 5 games this year, has been in net. Gibson has played 3 of the 5. Derek Malahi has played 1, and Aku Koskin-Uo freshman out of Finland, played the other game. Other than that, the 19 players, 19 skaters that are in the lineup, rather, for Ted Donato have been the exact same through 5 games. If you're in, you're in. If you're out, you've been out to this point. So a very interesting way of structuring the team. He's comfortable with the lineup that he has, very clearly. They're talented as well. Surtees able to find that loose puck. Low of the goal with 20 seconds left. Forecheck coming from DeVoe. He knocks the puck loose. Backhand feed picked up by LaFerriere, sent back to the point. Sun on goal through a screen off the end boards. Now 10 seconds to go. Turned along by Mashi. Pop tie up in the air, just a little too far of Lee, who had to hang on at the blue line. Long pass ahead through the legs of LaFerriere with 2 seconds and 1. A hit laid by Surtee that will stop LaFerriere in his tracks as we have reached the end of period number 1. No score between number 13 Harvard and the Engineers of RPI. Shots on goal 10-8 in favor of the Crimson over 20 minutes of play. But you talk about the pace of play and who controlled the play. Not a lot of difference in this one, at least from my perspective.
No, I agree. I thought both teams played very, very well. Pretty evenly played period as far as, face-offs and shots on goal, and both had their opportunities with the goaltenders coming up big.
Goaltenders big indeed. We'll see if that continues moving into our second 20 minutes of play. And Dan Fridgen and I will return in a few moments to tell you more about that. No score after 20 minutes. You're watching RPI Engineers Hockey on ESPN+.
Boucher Financial Group has been serving their clients for over 27 years, with offices in historic downtown Troy and Silver Springs. They currently manage over $400 million in assets and act as their client's personal CFO for any financial concerns. Visit BoucherFinancial.com and learn more.
It's the most historic conference in college hockey. It's a battle night in and night out. ECAC Hockey, an iconic conference home to 12 of the most prestigious universities and programs in the world, and showcasing the best student athletes in the sport. Top-notch facilities and arenas, incomparable traditions, passionate fans, alumni who go on to become elite professionals, leaders, and champions. ECAC Hockey, there's no experience like it.
For the love of the game, the team, or for two, Recovery Sports Grill. At Recovery Sports Grill, you'll always have courtside seats to exciting live sports coverage. And for outstanding loyalty perks, join our Hall of Fame, Recovery Sports Grill, serving up smiles every season.
We are boundary-pushing change agents. We do what it takes to make things happen together. It's our collaborative spirit that sparks creativity and pushes us to think beyond ourselves. We're scrappy and unabashedly enthusiastic about our passions and projects. We are hardwired for the havoc of change. We know it isn't easy, that theories can fail and world-changing can feel futile. But that's the calm before the brilliant storm. The breath you take before you break through. Small change comes from asking why. Changing the world comes from asking, why not? That's the question we ask everyone, from freshmen to faculty. It's the question that fuels us to find the next new. The question we ask you, why not change the world?
James at Rensselaer Honda, and this is my buddy Bo. Looking to sell your car or truck? We want to buy it. Are you looking for a great used car? We have a huge selection. That's why Rensselaer Honda has been your Honda dealer for 44 years.
It's funded by RPI law, exercise non-choices. Gatherers, we're all of the people who take RPI Hockey would like to thank the following sponsors: Moe's, the Hilton Garden Inn in Troy, Sefton, Division of Broadview, CDPHP, Boucher and Clark Financial Group, Market 32 Light Prescott, Yankee Trails, Red Front Pizza, Tri-City Rentals, Ben Jerry's, Warren W. Fink, Jolene Lawrence of Hollerhead Real Estate Services, CDTA, Boucher and Clark Benefits, Wicked Smart, Tri-City Valley Cats, Rensselaer Alumni Association, Nitro Companies, Pepsi, and Turner Construction, all proud sponsors of RPI Hockey. The RPI Pet RPI Hockey would like to thank Patterson, Sampson, Ginsburg, and Griffin Lawford, Rensselaer Dining Services, Crown Plaza, the Desmond Hotel, Recovery Sports Grill, E. Stewart Jones, Hacker Murphy Law Firm, Stewart Shops, PSN Sports, Gatherers Corona, Rensselaer Honda, the Big Business System, Ryan Toy Pub, Stanley Steamer, Direct Energy, and BioC, all proud sponsors of RPI Hockey.
For the love of the game, the team, Recovery Sportswear. At Recovery Sportswear, we always have courtside seats to expanding live sports coverage and from outstanding loyalty events. For our whole day, Recovery Sportswear. Serving smiles every season.
Second period about to begin here from the Houston Fieldhouse in the campus of RPI. Welcome back to RPI Engineers Hockey right here on ESPN Plus. The score after 20 minutes of play, it was a heated affair and a back and forth battle in the first game of the weekend between the Engineers of RPI and the Crimson of Harvard. But after the first period, we had no score. We look to change that here in the middle 20 alongside the coach Dan Pridgeon. I'm Dan Ball. Thanks so much for joining us. And coach, it was pretty even on both sides. The Crimson coming in ranked number 13th in the country. The Engineers unranked but playing right up to that same level. Do you see anything that could be the difference maker in this middle period between the
No,
two?
I think as long as RPI continues to take the neutral zone away, because I mean Harvard's a fast team and they like to use that neutral zone to build up some speed entering in the offensive zone. So as long as they keep that tight, keep playing a physical game, and you know they're getting some opportunities. So I think it's going to come down to whoever's going to capitalize. Obviously, whoever's going to capitalize first, but you know execution is going to be the key to this one.
A shocking amount of times it comes down to execution, as the coach Dan Pridgeon just said, but it's very, very true nonetheless. Shots on goal in the first 20 minutes were 10-8 in favor of the Crimson. Jack Watson made all 10 saves in his net. Mitchell Gibson did the same of the 8 he was tasked with, as the Engineers go from left to right across your screen here in the middle 20. Brought along by Jacob Lee. He shoots, deflected off of a skate into the corner. It's Lee once again finding his own rebound, knocked off the puck there by Ryan Seedham, and now it's Henry Thrun. Thrun for Farrell, who tries to escape. He does so successfully. Now it's Seedham over the line. On the far side, Miller looked to find his activating defender, could not do so. Centering feed knocked away by Massey, who is back on defense. Now it's Klee popping it all the way down. It went through Ryan Seedham and was wiped out, was the icing as a result. Seedham has it now on the near side. His pass towards Gaffney was knocked away. Heidemann will bunt it back to Nick Strom, who will get it started in his own end, looking to send a pass towards Evans, who was going along the blue line, couldn't connect. Moore had whiffed on a pass, but it's brought along out to center. Watson will keep it going. Near side hitting the brakes is Smolinski, but he turned the puck over. Only for the moment, though, as the Engineers are able to escape. Popped ahead by Evans, but it was blocked and sent back into the defensive end for the Engineers, so Smolinski will try it again. Pass too far ahead for Heidemann. It goes along the end boards. Moore will stop it and send it back for LaFerriere on the far side. Agnew picks it up on the pass from Hallbauer. Evans tried to deflect it in deep as he was going for a line change. LaFerriere had the puck and he draws a penalty. It's going to be Rory Herman who will go to the box. Hooking will be the call, and the first entry on the score sheet of any kind as a penalty against the Engineers. The Harvard power play on the ice for the first time.
Yeah, take a look at it here. Tough one. Right there, he reaches out. Kind of a play you don't want to have happen, especially in the neutral zone. It was harmless. LaFerriere is far enough away from the offensive zone, but at any rate, Harvard goes on the power play. First one tonight. Big kill here for RPI.
Herman, 2 minutes for Hooking. Time of the penalty, 1 minute and 39 seconds. The power play on the ice for the Crimson for the first time. Second best power play in the nation through their 4 games. They are 7 of 18, clicking at nearly 40%. And when you look at the top end talent on the team, you can kind of start to understand it. Whip down low, centering pass. That one's knocked away from the net and rebounds all the way back into the defensive end. So looking for that bumper pass in front, but the shot didn't end up on net. So Harvard will regroup once more. The Engineers on the kill this year, 17 of 22, 77.3%. To the point, Seedham unable to corral the pass, kept in though by Thrun. Puck wobbles its way into the corner. Hallbauer will kill a bit of time, pinning it against the end boards. Puck ends up popping out for Brendan Booty, and Booty will send it the length, and the Engineers will go for a line change.
Good job in the puck support there along the boards, winning that battle and getting puck down the ice.
Both teams changing units here. The second unit, so to speak, for the Crimson on the ice, led ahead by the speedy Joe Miller. He had the puck knocked away, and a good defensive play by Hallbauer. Now it's Beaton who will whip it in deep off the stick of Healy, who will go back and grab it. The kill last weekend for the Engineers, a perfect 3 for 3. They killed both penalties against St. Lawrence, also killed one against Clarkson. Last weekend, 2 losses for the Engineers. They lost 3-2 at St. Lawrence and then 3-0 at Clarkson. So looking to rebound here. The ECAC hockey schedule opening victory here at the Houston Fieldhouse over Union in the blackout game a couple of weekends back, proving to be the only win on the docket for the Engineers in the ECAC thus far. Penalty about to come to an end. Walking the line there is Healy. His shot knocked away by Watson. Near corner Mazzotti. Pass popped out to the middle, but it's taken along by Ciccarello to the center line. He drops it for an oncoming Mazzotti. Now Ciccarello, a bad angle shot and a save. Ciccarello again in the far corner, backhands it. Healy was unable to catch. Now here's Moore, takes the hit from Mazzotti. Severo tried to knock it along, but the Engineers able to cause a turnover for the time being. Now it's Herman out of the box. Herman marked by Moore. Ends up getting it free. At the top, here's Heidemann. He shoots. Saved by Gibson. The rebound loose in front. Knocked out to center by Karpa. Good chance there for Heidemann, who took about as much room as he had.
Yeah, he certainly did. He took a good shot too, but not high enough. You got the goaltender coming out, Gibson, on his doing the butterfly. So top shelf is open.
Here's Heidemann, he'll try it again. Whiffs on the first chance, knocked in front, and it went past the near post. A good deflection there by Lee as he was tied up, but was still able to get a piece of it, it looked like. Trying to turn nothing into something there was Heidemann, and Lee nearly successful in doing so. Now here comes Jacob Lee, motoring through center. He shoots it past the net behind. Engineers will go in on the forecheck, but only as far as the defensive effort. Mason Langenberner was the one who led it through center. Now the Crimson have it in their offensive end. Wong, Langenberner gets free. Pass to the near side for Shore. Now back to the point of Coyne. His shot gets blocked. And it's knocked out to center. Good defensive play on both ends there by Massey to clear the zone. Shore's pass will stop Langenberner's tracks. Turned over. Shot, score! In the blink of an eye and in the back of the net, it's Ryan Massey, and the assistant captain has broken the tie. It's 1-0 Engineers.
Well, he certainly showed a lot of patience. Take a look. A lot of patience. He didn't rush it. Took a look what was happening. Gibson committed first. Watch this. Gibson down, up, over the shoulder, top shelf. And that's what you need to do against Harvard. You got to capitalize on those opportunities that you get on turnovers.
Third goal of the season, and now Evans looking to add to it off the draw. A backhand pass got blocked. Engineers on the board, third goal of the season from Ryan Massey. They look to add once more. A good defensive play with the stick on the shot from Heidemann. Now it's beaten. Back to the point for Laurie Surtee, trying to find some room. Surtee on goal, blockered away by Gibson. Below the goal here is Beaton, tried to center a pass. Heidemann on the backhand, save Gibson, rebound loose for Klee, and a shoulder save made by Gibson. What a beauty on the chance for Mason Klee. Now it's Farrell. Coronado had it knocked away. Defensive end, the Crimson will regroup. Good chances for the Engineers to add on to the lead that Ryan Massey just gave them a moment ago. Gaffney has it knocked away, but it's brought back in. Dropping for Gaffney once more. His shot deflected, goes up off the end glass. Defensive effort successful. Sent back to the point. Pass from Thrun, too far ahead for Healy. Long pass ahead. Here's Evans, and on a breakaway comes John Evans to the backhand, and he scores! The gamble by Gibson didn't pay off, and the Engineers have extended the lead to 2.
Well, you know what? That was a great play by Evans. It was a turnover right at the blue line, and he continued between them, but I'm not sure if he didn't get hurt because he hit the post there pretty hard with the back. Here's another look at it. He goes in, out comes Gibson right here. Ooh, he got that right in the back, and he skated off kind of gingerly as well. Nice job by RPI. Great look by the D to find Evans, and he makes it 2-0.
2 goals in a minute and 9 seconds for the Engineers. Ryan Massey, his third. That was John Evans, who made a nice move to the backhand. Also his third goal of the season. So after playing roughly 25 minutes without anybody getting on the board, good chances on either side, the Engineers able to score on the turnover and maintain that momentum to extend the lead to 2. Into the corner goes Karpa, marked by Strong.
He was assisted by number 17, John Beaton.
Stolen away there by Mazzotti, who will flip it all the way out. Bunted along by Moore. Puck was up in the air as Nikkanen was trying to find it, but the Crimson will take it back the other way. Drive by LaFerriere, and glove save by Watson. Jack Watson will hang on and take a face-off. 7 minutes and change gone by second period, and all of a sudden the crowd with something big to cheer about in the last few moments, Coach.
Well, RPI has had some good offensive opportunities this period. It could be easily 3-4-0. You know, you think back to the start of the game and how Watson made some key saves right off the get-go. I think it was like a couple of minutes early, but they've come out here in the second period and taken charge of this game.
Controlled in the near corner here is Booty, who knocks it out to center. Going for it there was Massey as Jack Barr is able to take it away. The chant of choice from the crowd here at the Houston Fieldhouse was simply safety school after the 2 goals scored by the homestanding Engineers. A lot of game left, so keep an eye on that. Booty tried to make a nice move around Langenbrunner, but the defender for the Crimson able to make a nice play on the oncoming Brendan Booty, and it's flipped back out to center.
I don't know if the fans were holding their breath or what they were doing for the first period and a half, but there seems to be a little bit of a buzz in the fieldhouse right now.
Amazing what a couple goals like that will do, especially one like John Evans scored where he made a nice move. The goalie gambling kind of goal is always something that will bring people to their feet. And Engineers fans were excited to do so. Here is Langenbrunner in the near corner. Out to center, Severo trying to get it along. Pass to the middle, shot coming, saved by Watson. Baker Shore took the shot from the top of the circles. Watson able to hang on and take a face-off. And Coach, when you're forcing shots from this area, as you see on the rebound, your defense is doing a decent job.
Yeah, I mean, that's a long way out, but still, Watson's got to stop it. Yeah, it's never a bad idea to just put the puck on net.
Watson, much like his team, looking to get back in the winning ways. Riding a 3-game losing streak. He gave up 5 goals, uncharacteristically so, against Union the night after the blackout out in Schenectady. Last weekend for Watson, gave up 3 on 36 against St. Lawrence, 3 on 36 shots that is, and then just 1 goal against Clarkson on 18 shots. So still playing well is Watson this season, a .251 goals against average, .908 save percentage. He's been the one who has played pretty much every single minute for this group. Brett Miller got a bit of time during the non-conference schedule, but other than that, it's been Watson. It's going to be Watson. Barr will flip it out to center. Knocked down by Coronado. Heidemann tried to find it. Coronado does instead. He starts it up over the center logo. Near side, it's Miller. Flipped along for Coronado. Look to center, a pass, and a save by Watson. He will hang on to the rebound with 10:27 to go in the second. It looked for the moment like Sean Farrell had solved Watson, but the Engineers netminder said no.
Wow, he just stayed planted with his left foot down, and it's almost like Farrell shot the puck right into his pad. But it's going to be important here for RPI to continue to play consistent hockey. I mean, keep the pedal to the metal, because I think they went ahead of St. Lawrence 2-0, and then they ended up giving up 3 straight.
Popped up by Strawn. Massey will bunt it in. Tries to get around Seedham. Does Ryan Massey into the corner. Thrun sends for LaFerriere, who pops it out to the neutral zone. Knocked away on the play by Gaffney, trying to get around Max Smolinski. Gaffney leaves it behind, and a penalty coming up against the Engineers. It's going to go against Nick Strom. The Crimson will go to their second power play of the evening with 10:02 to go in the second period, and Nick Strom will be the guilty party.
Well, yeah, you don't want to give Harvard too many power plays, because they're clicking along, as you mentioned earlier, about 40% on their power play. So, but you always rise to the level of the opponent, knowing that they've got a real good power play. That's when your PK has to step up, and you're not looking for anybody else to step up more than you would be Watson, your goaltender.
Power play 0 for 1 so far this evening as LaFerriere leaves for Seedham, who walks the line. Scoring offense for the Crimson this year, currently ranked 2nd in the nation. They're scoring 4.5 goals through their first 4 games. Knocked back behind the net. Ciccarello is on it. Backhanded by Mazzotti the rest of the way down. The Engineers are able to clear. Last weekend, a good one on the man advantage for the Crimson. They went 3 for 5 in their 5-2 win against Brown. They also scored a power play goal against Yale in what ended up being a 4-0 win. They held the Bulldogs to just 10 shots. So defensively, it was really just as much of a story as offensively for the Crimson last weekend. Mazzotti will go in on the forecheck, pins the puck along the end boards. It'll take 3 Crimson to take it away from him. Killing some time off the clock, Sutter Mazzotti will go for a change. The Engineers were already finishing doing. There's a shot by LaFerriere and a save. Farrell goes behind the cage. Centers. Coronado blocked. Coronado finds it again on the far side. Centers a pass. Thrun unable to connect. Into the near corner. It's whipped all the way down, and the Engineers are able to survive a flurry from the Harvard Crimson.
Yeah, Harvard likes to zing that puck around. They don't hold on their stick very often. For a long period of time, I mean.
Started up by Ian Moore, who has an assist in all 4 of his games so far this year. Moore, the sophomore out of Concord, Mass., a draft pick of the Anaheim Ducks. One of the major members of the defense here for this Crimson team. The Engineers able to escape the zone, led ahead by Gagnon. Jake Gagnon leaves for Herman, backhanded in front. Blockered away by Gibson. Laurie Surtee was on the back end, and now an odd man rush. Great play on defense by Hallbauer to knock that puck away. Now the Engineers will come back through center. Here is Gagnon. He shoots, knocked away by Gibson, up and out of play. 8:09 to go, second period. 8 seconds remaining on the penalty against Nick Strom. Bit of a gamble there for Laurie Surtee to go up on the offense, but the Engineers get away with it and get a couple of chances as well.
Yes, that was a great defensive play by Hallbauer, but I was kind of looking forward to Healy going in 1-on-0 on the goaltender.
Well, still a lot of time left, so we'll see if he's able to replicate it, but the captain for the Engineers, Hallbauer, able to make the play. Face-off in the offensive end. It is controlled, however, by Karpa in the Crimson. 3 seconds and 2 on the penalty against Strom. The Engineers will move to a 2-for-2 mark on their penalty kill, and Watson will freeze it for a face-off. 7:58 to go, second period here in Troy. 2-0 Engineers over the Crimson of Harvard. We'll step aside in just a few moments and be back with more after this. You're watching RPI Engineers Hockey on ESPN+.
Will continue to receive the opportunity to balance the rigors of academics with the legal athletics. Learn more about how you can help RPI Engineers Hockey directly at giving.rpi.edu/. Let's go Red. RPI Athletics would like to thank members of the RPI Keeper City Golf System of Highway 7 this evening.
Midway through the second at the Houston Fieldhouse, 2-0 Engineers over the Harvard Crimson here on ESPN+. Near side, Brendan Booty was the intended target, but it was knocked away by Shore. Lee was able to steal that one off the near side boards, kept in by a coin. Into the quarter, they will race and battle. Shore sends it back to the point. Barr tries to get around Mashi. Was unable to do so. The puck sent in deep, where Shore has it once more. Puck is popped up in the air. DeVoe tried to whip it back to the point, but he whiffed on a pass. Stepping in here is Barr. Look to center, picked off by Booty. His pass will escape over the defensive blue line, but Jacob Lee unable to win the race, so the Engineers will regroup it once more. Pass too far ahead for Mashi. A coin got it to the center line. Strom tried to send it in deep, unsuccessful in doing so. So it's brought ahead once more by Wong, but his pass is picked off. Backhand feed. Here is Heidemann in on a partial break. Heidemann to the backhand, and he missed the far side post. He did the most important part, which was getting Mitchell Gibson out of position, but he was just unable to finish on the far side.
Yeah, he's got some quick feet, boy. He turned it up about 3 notches once he saw that loose puck and just went off the backhand of his stick wide of the net.
Momentum, of course, being a thing at play, but it was basically even when that race started, right around the blue line, and Heidemann said, nope, I'm going along. Speaking of moving along, here is Evans on a 2-on-1 with Heidemann. John Evans shot, save, rebound in front, sat for Surtee for the moment, but was unable to find the loose puck. But it's Evans once more, looking to add on to his total today. Already scored his 3rd goal of the season. It was the 2nd goal of the game for the Engineers. A minute 9 seconds after Ryan Massey scored his. Also his 3rd. Klee sends low. Puck kicks off of the skate of Evans, sent back to the point. Klee will keep it in and send low once more. Here is Evans behind the cage. John Evans all the way back to the point. Hallbauer will whip it in deep. To the point, it is Agnew. Turns and sends on goal. That one missed the near side. Ryan Seedham will slow it down, but Ciccarello's able to keep it in deep. Good pressure from the Engineers, who have completed a line change and have kept the Crimson in their end. Sent out to center. Gagnon was there waiting. Herman was unable to pick it up. Now it's brought ahead by Tresca. Sent on goal. That one got blocked, never got to the net. But the puck was played with a hand pass by the Engineers, so the faceoff will come back in the defensive end. 2-0 RPI, shots even at 16 with 5:20 to go here in the second.
And because of that hand pass, it'll be in the defensive zone, face-off, and RPI will not be allowed to make a line change.
These two teams have played quite a lot. The Crimson leading 62-40 with 8 ties in the all-time season series, team series, however you want to quantify that. A lot of history in this matchup between the two teams in red, 2 different shades of red. I know anybody saying red and not crimson will probably not do very well in Harvard land. So important to say crimson, we do indeed. Near corner, whipped along. It'll be kept in by Miller only for the moment, though, as Ciccarello's able to get it to the center line and send it in deep, but he was behind the center line when he did so, so it wasn't by much, but it will be icing against the Engineers. The faceoff will come back in the Engineers' end.
Yeah, Dave Smith's trying to get guys back out on the ice that were out there.
Definitely no gamesmanship at any point there in terms of icing calls.
Exactly.
I simply look at you, Coach Dan Frigen, and I smile. That's it, that's all. Gets past a coin and out into the defensive end. Moore will get it started. I'm always looking for the little pieces of information. I don't need, not the big ones, just the little bits that I wouldn't know otherwise.
Yep.
I'll keep on digging. Hallbauer sends it off the end boards. Now Agnew in his own end in the near corner, deflected along by Booty. Only as far as Gaffney, however, as Moore sends the center. LaFerriere brings it in. Couple moves, and he takes a big hit from Herman. There's going to be a penalty on the hit. The Crimson will go back to the power play for the 3rd time here in this period as Hallbauer is able to pick up the loose puck. It's going to be a penalty against Herman for the hit on LaFerriere. Let's take another look.
That looked like, well, from here, it looked like contact to the head by the way his head went back right here. I hope that's not the case, but I'm sure that's what they're talking about right now.
So the officials in this one will discuss how to proceed. The hit made by Herman on Alex LaFerriere, who was cutting across the offensive zone laterally. He didn't necessarily see the hit coming.
No, it came from the left side, the blind side.
We're watching a replay that isn't necessarily ours in front of us to see if we can get a little bit more of information on where the primary point of contact is, because again, when you see that at full speed, it's exactly what you said, Coach.
Yep.
It's the hit to the head. You see how the head of LaFerriere whipped back.
Yeah,
but as you slow it down a little bit, that's when you try to see, okay, was it shoulder first?
You know what? He didn't catch the shoulder. I was waiting for it. That looks like, I don't know if it caught him in the arm. No, I don't know if it caught him in the arm. They're going to take a look at it though, which watch right here. Well, that was, I think he got him in the head. I hate to say it.
This might be the best look at it. So there's Herman. I actually don't think he did.
No?
I think he got him. I mean, it was
The shoulder area?
It was close. Yeah, I think he did.
Let's see this side.
I think he got contact right where it says Harvard across the chest.
Yeah.
Here's another look at it. Maybe the follow through. This is a very close one. And the reason that we show, and again, thank you to our production crew who is showing the angles. That one I don't see that particular head contact in. It whips him back as if it was contact to the head. Here's a bit more of a slow look.
See, he misses that shoulder though. I thought he might have got a little bit of Laferriere's shoulder.
Right.
But it seems like he misses that, and I can't tell if he got the chest.
Right.
But just with the way the head snapped back.
It's going to be very interesting, and the reason that we show the angles that we do and try to break this one down, we're also in the middle of an official review, as you can see at the top right of your screen. The reason that we break this down, there's a big difference between just what would be, I don't know, either a charging call or whatever you want to call it, a 2-minute a roughing call, however you want to call the 2-minute minor, and then a hit to the head. That's going to be that could be Rory Herman getting sent off, and also possibly a 5-minute power play for the Crimson. So the difference between the 2 and the 5, or the 2 and the game misconduct, is worth the replay. And you can see, I mean, we saw it there. We have a screen that for me is a foot in front of my face. So it's ruled as a 2-minute.
Yep. So I guess they saw that it caught him in the chest area as opposed to the head, which is good.
It is good
for Herman.
It's good for Herman, and also, to be fair, it's good for Laferriere too that he didn't get clocked in the head, and he was up quick enough after the hit as well, where you wondered how much, whether it was the follow through or the conjecture can go a lifetime. We'll end it right there. In the meantime, it is a 2-minute penalty for elbowing against Rory Herman. Time of the penalty 15:59. So the third power play opportunity of the evening for the Crimson. They are 0 for 2 to this point. Looking to capitalize, here is Laferriere, now up top for Sedum. Far side, it's Farrell, whipped low of the goal. Henry Thrun was there waiting, but he was unable to corral. Here is Coronado on the near side. Tried to force a pass to the middle for Laferriere, but it's swept away by John Beaton and cleared the length of the ring.
Good active stick, smart stick by John Beaton, keeping that stick down in the passing lane, and lo and behold, Harvard gives it to him.
With speed, here comes Sean Farrell. Knocked away, but it ended up hitting off of Lee. Second attempt bunted down by Sedum. Lee will backhand along. Now here comes Brendan Booty. Sends a pass in front. Here is Lee to the backhand, and a save by Gibson. Creative play there by Brendan Booty to send it past through the legs to the oncoming Jacob Lee, and a good chance offensively on the kill for the Engineers.
That was a real good play, heads up play, and he knew he had a guy going to the net. And that was if you want a guy going to the net, it's going to be Lee.
Lee with a nice move, but Gibson was able to sniff that one out. Got just enough of a read on the forehand to backhand move that he made the save, but Lee this time will send it off of the end boards and all the way down. And the Engineers will complete their line change with now 40 seconds to go on the 2-minute elbowing call against Rory Herman.
I have to say, RPI has been doing a great job in the penalty kill tonight.
They have indeed, and that's against both units, especially the one that just came off the ice, which is typically the one that begins the power plays for Ted Donato. Lee protects the puck along the end board, sent all the way along the boards to the point, kept in. No, Moore is unable to do so. So slowing things down at the point there is Healy. 10 seconds to go on the power play for the Crimson. Karpa hits the brakes on the near side. Healy low, now it's Karpa once more, saved by Watson. No rebound available for anyone in a Crimson uniform. A couple of shoves being exchanged. And a hit of the nature of Rory Herman's coach is the kind of thing that, though it didn't end up being head contact, or at least that wasn't the call as we see the replay of the save, that's the kind of thing that can kickstart some of the shoves after the whistle, so to speak, you'd have to say.
Yeah, I think that started, though, with Ciccarello and number 59, Karpa. And that was Moore coming to his aid with a couple of shots.
Face-off won by the Crimson. Here is Barr walking the line. He shoots. Watson will make the save on that one. The penalty is over. Rory Herman back on the bench out of the box. A perfect 3 for 3 so far in the evening on the pill for the Engineers.
Well, Watson's out at the top of his crease. He's square. No rebounds. He's on top of his game tonight.
A quick grammar correction. That was supposed to be kill. Combined penalty kill into one word. It worked pretty well. Low of the goal. Here is Miller, tried to get it in front. He sent one Engineer sliding to his rear end, making a couple of nice moves. That one sent to the net by Barr, but it missed the far side post. Gaffney hits the brakes. Low of the goal is Gaffney. Whips it towards the net. It got blocked. Now it's Heidemann through center. Here is Evans back for Heidemann. Tries to get through the line of defense. Unable to do so, but Heidemann finds it on the far side. Austin Heidemann on the backhand, all the way low for John Evans, who's been doing a lot of good work in the offensive end, low of the goal here in this middle period. Hallbauer's unable to keep the line. Here comes Miller on a partial break with Agu trailing. A shot and a save made. Rebound. Langenbrunner tried to send a pass back. Was unable to connect. Now a 2-on-2 with Heidemann. He shoots, missed the net wide. Evans finds the rebound. He takes a hit to the numbers and is slow to get up. No call, however, as the hands of all officials involved stay by their sides.
That was a good defensive play by Beaton there, back in front of the net. He lifted the stick just in time.
Here is DeVoe. He goes to the backhand. DeVoe sends it in front. Watson makes the save. It's left there for Hallbauer, who leaves it for Watson, who will hang on with 36.1 seconds to go here in period number 2. And you're right there, the first chance for Miller was a good chance that Watson made the save of, but it was the rebound that was almost worse. We take another look at the wraparound from DeVoe.
Yeah, Watson, not letting anything go through that crease at all. He's got the paddle down, blocking anything low.
Coronado will lean in for the draw against Lee. It's controlled by the Crimson in their offensive end. Now it's LaFerriere. His pass to the net was deflected up and out of play, so the face-off will come back in the same spot where it was just a few moments ago. A lot of action on both ends, setting us up for a very interesting third period of play here at the Houston Fieldhouse. Don't forget, the Engineers will do it all again tomorrow evening right here in Troy, 7 p.m. face-off against the Dartmouth Big Green, who are on the ice tonight against Union. Moore sends it on net. LaFerriere was going for the deflection, but he deflected it wide. Here is Thrun at the point, lost control of the puck. Massey's able to strip it away. Down to 15 seconds in the second period as the Crimson will regroup in the neutral zone. Poked away there by Surtee. He lays a hit. Battle ensues right above the offensive blue for the Crimson. It's one-handed along by Ciccarello. This one will not go for icing. Moore will slow it down, and we have reached the end of the second period here in Troy. 2-0. Engineers over the Crimson. 2 goals coming in 1 minute and 9 seconds from Ryan Massey and Jacob Lee. And a pretty impressive middle 20 for the home team coach.
I would say so. They came out this second period and took charge, scored a couple of goals, and haven't looked back. Just got to make sure they play a nice, complete, disciplined game here in the third period. But just an outstanding job on the penalty kill as well. Not only offensively, but on the penalty kill, making, execution on the turnover. Here it is right here with Massey to put them up 1-0.
Massey, his third goal of the season. He was able to cause the turnover. He picked it up and picked a corner. That's exactly what you need to do, and the Engineers added another.
Yeah, and Evans coming in. Freshman goes forehand, backhand, and Gibson knew that he might have made too aggressive a move right here. Coming out, and just a great play by Evans to put that puck in the net.
Third goal of the season for Evans as well. The Engineers leading 2-0 after 40 minutes of play. Will they be able to hang on in period 3? Dan Frigid and I will return to tell you more about it after this. You're watching RPI Engineers Hockey on ESPN+.
last 5 seconds. If you got it, let's see it. 3, 2, 1, let's pick a winner. Winning number is 105, 105, your winner tonight. Ryan Swaitcroft, technical competition. Thank you for participating. If you like to make a close up, they take them to line down and grabs and help you find the right place to go. With the region's premier travel agency, Northwest North Carolina, they specialize in group travel, and Yankee Trails is also available for all your group transportation needs. For more information, call 518-286-2400 or visit online at yankeetrails.com. University next Saturday on November 19th. Come on out to Houston Fieldhouse to support your RPI women's hockey team when the puck drops at 3 p.m. next Saturday.
Social rights program and director of athletics and RPI. Thank you for your support for RPI hockey. Get loud and enjoy the game.
That will warm you up and satisfy your cravings this time of year. You'll find more choices in most fast food restaurants, like the delicious meatballs, the crispy chicken sandwich, chicken tenders, and the endless combination of medium hot dogs with free meat sauce. You're in and back on the road in no time with a hearty meal that will keep you going all day. Warm up at Spirit House with great easy food.
It's the most historic conference in college hockey. It's a battle, night in and night out. ECAC hockey and the conference home before the most prestigious university in the world, showcasing the best athletes in sport. Hockey series of winners.
2 periods down and 1 to go here at the Houston Fieldhouse on the campus of RPI. Welcome back to RPI Engineers Hockey right here on ESPN+. The score through 40 minutes of play, well, it was even at zeros after the first 20, but the Engineers scored 2 goals in a minute and 9 seconds to take a 2-0 lead. That is where we stand heading into period number 3. Alongside the coach, Dan Fritsch and Dan Ball with you here on ESPN+. Delighted to be with you here in the Capital Region and beyond as we move towards period number 3. Impressive period offensively for the Engineers and impressive on the penalty kill. They hold the lead through 40 minutes. How do they maintain that lead here in the third?
You know what? They just got to continue doing what they're doing. They're playing a good physical game. They're moving their feet. They're applying pressure. They're being aggressive. And I think that they have to continue to do that for this period and not sit back and let Harvard generate. I mean, there's going to be some momentum shifts back and forth here during this period, but they just got to be able to sustain that push that Harvard's going to be making.
It was Ryan Massey who capitalized on a turnover at 5:31 of the second period to score his third goal of the season. Then again, a minute and 9 seconds later, Jacob Lee scoring on a breakaway on the backhand on a nice feed from John Beaton. That made it 2-0, and that is where we stand. Mitchell Gibson in the net for the Crimson so far, 15 of 17 on his night. Jack Watson has made 21 saves on a possible 21 shots, and he is in the net to our right as the Engineers go from right to left across your screen here in period 3. Seedham shot on goal, save, and the rebound turned aside. Watson made the stop on the first shot from Seedham. Sean Farrell had the rebound in front, but the right leg pad of Jack Watson said no.
Yeah, he was there and down in his usual butterfly. There's a nice shot, rebound, came back, he got the pad on it. Certainly moving around his crease real well tonight.
Face-off will be to the right of the Engineers netminder. Karpa and Beaton on the draw. The teams were even at 19 face-off victories apiece through 2 periods of play. The Engineers won the battle in the first, the Crimson won it in the second. Whipped on goal from the point there by Moore, it goes over the net. Near side boards, Heidemann tried to get it to the line. LaFerriere bunts it back in deep. So Smolinski will regroup it, trying to get away from the oncoming LaFerriere. It pops up in the air and into the glove of Watson. One of the easier saves he's made on his evening so far. These two teams met in the ECAC hockey quarterfinals last season, after the Engineers dispatched Dartmouth in the opening rounds, the team that the Engineers will see here tomorrow, ironically enough. They then played Harvard. It was a 3-game series, a battle for sure. The Crimson were able to win that series in 3 games. They then beat Clarkson in the ECAC hockey semifinals and won in overtime against Quinnipiac to capture the 2022 ECAC hockey championship. They went into the NCAA tournament, lost against Minnesota State in the first round as a pass in front goes by the wayside for Jack Barr and ends up rebounding up and going out of play. That is the history between these two teams. The faceoff will come back in the defensive end for the Engineers, just over a minute gone by in period 3.
And I can't help but think, had that game 1 been different for RPI, they were up 3-1 with, I think, 2 minutes left, 2:22 or something like that. Harvard pulled their goaltender and they scored 3 6-on-5 goals and won the game 4-3 in overtime.
Goodness gracious, it's that close. It really was the entire way for last year's Engineers team against the Crimson, and it was that close on the other side. Here comes Nikkanen into the corner. Knocked off the puck there by Healy. Now he and Aucoin try to battle for it. Stolen away by Walsh. Whipped in front from Mazzotti, but it was knocked away by Gibson. Hallbauer tried to send it on net. It's deflected wide. Pops out in front. Guided along by Gibson. Now Hayduk leads in on the far side. Merrick Hayduk on goal. Goes past the net wide. A chance on the near side. They score. An active bounce of the puck off of the end boards. It ends up on the stick, I believe, of Austin Wong when all is said and done. And a minute 48 seconds into period 3. It's a 1-goal game.
Well, hang on. I know that the coach is talking right here. He's complaining about goaltender interference, I'm sure. And he's going to want them to take a look at this. I don't know if they can, but he was right there. He was right on the doorstep. The referee was. There it is right there. Actually, you know what? He was there, but he didn't. I mean, I think that puck was in before Watson even got across.
Here's another look. So the puck skips off of the end of the net. You're watching
Kyle
see,
he comes over the other side, yeah. See how Watson comes to the other side when that puck goes back out?
I do.
So he would have to impede him coming back, and I think the puck was shot and put in the net before Watson got back over. Follow me?
I do follow you. And a very succinct synopsis indeed from Dan Frigen.
But they're going to take a look at it. I think. Yep, they are.
They'll go into the box and take a look. So it's a challenge from Dave Smith. Challenging for goalie interference. Let's take another look. So watch Jack Watson coming from his left to his right. So he goes left. and then on his way back to his right. So what Watson thought was that the puck was going to come back over his left shoulder, so you see him go left.
Yep. But watch Hollenbauer push number 33 here. Watch this, right here.
Kind of keeps him where he is.
Yeah, right there. Pushes him.
You know, Coach, I think you're right.
Well, I don't know.
Now,
I would never. No
Now-
way, not with when referees are watching video and it's a judgment call.
well, that's the thing. And so initially, here's the important part, and you can see right dead center of your screen at the top. It was called a goal on the ice.
Yep.
So you need clear and irrefutable evidence to overturn the goal for the call of goaltender interference.
That's correct.
I think both things can be true. I think this is worth challenging for Dave Smith because, I mean, a coin is, for lack of a better term, all up in the business of Jack Watson in the crease. But was he helped there? Was he kept there by Hallbauer? And was Watson really impeded from making a save that he could have made anyways because of the fact that he was kind of caught like a wide receiver looking over the other shoulder? All questions at play. We're still mid-review here at the Houston Fieldhouse. If it stands for Austin Wong, the senior out of Calgary, Alberta, it would be his first goal and his first point of the season. He had 8 points in 32 games last year, just 2 goals. That was up from 6 points in 21 games as a freshman. Again, one of the players on this team that was here during the COVID-19 year in 2021, when Harvard was one of the 8 teams in the ECAC not to play. So 4th year in school, 3rd year in terms of statistics. But he was an MVP of the 2018 CJHL Prospects game, scoring 2 goals, including the game winner. So a player with a strong pedigree. It is called a goal. After the review, Dan Fridgen nailed it. Make sure you keep that in the back of your mind more than anything else. That's what we keep track of here in the booth. But most importantly, Coach, Dave Smith, he loses his timeout.
Well, had Hallbauer not given that extra shove
Right.
to that was number 33, right?
That was, yes, Kyle LaPointe.
Yeah. Had he not given, imagine that, a defenseman on the goalpost. Had he not given him that extra shove, I think they might have gotten away with it. Goaltender interference, that is.
Harvard goal was scored by number 27.
Austin Wong will get credit of the goal. To the point, Sedum sends intentionally wide. Now the Crimson will look to even the score after scoring their first goal of the evening. A potent offense that scores nearly 5 goals a game here. As Shore looked to center it in front. DeVoe had a whack at it. Watson was able to knock it away. Now Herman will flip it in deep and go in after it. Herman sends around the end boards here as Gagnon, who sends a hit back towards DeVoe. DeVoe was coming in on him, but Gagnon just said, no, you're going down instead. Deflected into the defensive zone for the Engineers. The Crimson will make wholesale changes. Laurie Surtee will go back and grab it. Up for Lee, who pops it in deep. Moore will give chase, as will Barr, but it's stolen away. Only for the moment, however, as the Crimson will take it through center. Now here is Miller. Miller dropped for the oncoming Moore. Makes a move to the near side, into the corner. Knocked off the puck there by Mashie, but Miller regains possession. Moore from the point, sent wide. Farrell keeps it moving along for Barr, who will send it below the goal. Too far ahead for Farrell, however. Moore steps in to Coronado covering. A shot from the point goes above the net. Off of the end glass into the far corner. Coronado makes a move. Puck was knocked free, but Farrell found it. It's stolen, and RPI will take it back through center. Here is Mashie, tried to send a space pass ahead for Lee, unable to connect with that pass. So Moore will slow it down in his own end. Coronado for Farrell, who gained the line. No, he did not. Farrell thought he had gotten to the center line before dumping it in. Unable to do so, Sean Farrell iced the puck, and the Engineers will get the puck in their offensive zone.
Boy, that was pretty close. Let's have another look at it. That's Gagnon. Have a seat.
That was Willem DeVoe, the senior out of Nova Scotia, who was on the receiving end. He was the aggressor, but he ended up on his backside.
Sack film always goes. Why does that? I don't know if Anne Murray. No, I think Anne Murray was from New Brunswick. No, she might have been from Sackville. Anyways.
It is entertaining to watch your wheels turn either way. Here comes LaFerriere. He is behind the net. Look to send a puck along the far side post, but the pass didn't connect. Deflected towards the net, but past Watson, and it rebounds all the way down. A coin will go behind his own cage. Pass ahead for Karpa, but he feels the footsteps coming from Heidemann. He forces a turnover, and now it's taken back along by Gaffney. Gaffney's pass is picked off. Now it's Beaton. Ahead for Heidemann on the far side. He'll chip it in deep and go in on the forecheck and lay a hit on Langenbrunner in the process. Here is Beaton to the point. Whipped on goal. Blockered away by Gibson. Nice play there by Agnew to get that shot off in just one singular motion. A one-timer of sorts, picking it off the boards, which is something that is so hard to do as a defenseman. Here comes LaFerriere skating through center. Leaves for Karpa. Shot saved by Watson. Rebound loose in front. Taken away by LaFerriere, so the Crimson will maintain possession. Knocked off the stick of the oncoming LaFerriere, however. Syllable's tripping me up. Sent off the near side boards and in deep. Watson will slow it down. The Crimson go for a change. With 5 minutes gone by in the third period, the Engineers hanging on to a 1-goal lead. Gibson slows it down. A backhand through the legs of Nikkanen. Advanced to the line, but not out. Gibson was out of his net trying to grab his stick. It was sent on goal and high. A bizarre play there. I'm not sure Gibson realized the puck was still in his own end as he started to leave his net to grab his stick. Nikkanen leaves for Gagnon. Whipped toward the net, looking for Mazzotti. Deflected off of his stick and into the corner. To the point, Ardenaz keeps it in as the puck was fluttering on him a bit. Sent in deep. Tried to center a pass to Herman, did Gagnon. He'll send it back to the point. Ardenaz through a screen, deflected. Never got all the way to the net as Mazzotti is pushed to the ice by Henry Thrun. A breakout feed corralled there by Tresca, but picked off by Mazzotti at the end of a long shift. Here is Gagnon, who will chip it in deep. Both of them at the end of a shift. Will go for a line change. Top line coming on the ice for Dave Smith's group as it's brought in by Severo. He's met by Hallbauer. Here's Severo behind the net. Backhand pass didn't connect. It ends up back on the point with Healy. Healy, a nice move. In the near side, Healy bad angle shot, saved by Watson. Jack Agnew finds it. Off for Hallbauer, who will pop it high up in the air. Misses the scoreboard and ends up bouncing its way in front of the penalty bench before it's chopped in deep. Long shift for Rory Herman, who goes for a change. Ryan Mashey will join his line mates on the ice. Brendan Booty's able to knock the puck away. Lee tries to pull it off the wall. Stolen away there by Shore. Kept in by Mashey, but only for the moment. Mason Klee will regroup it. Surdy for Lee, who deflects it in. He'll go in on the forecheck. Healy keeps it on moving. It's taken away by Mashey down low. Sent back to the point. Surdy unable to keep the line, so he'll have to head back and grab it. John Evans helping his case. Healy for Barr on the far side. Deflected in deep by Farrell, who will go in on the offense as the Crimson look to tie this game. Heidemann, a backhand feed, finds John Beaton with speed. Near side comes John Beaton, knocked off the puck. Good defensive play there by Moore to keep Beaton from cutting to the net. Never got a shot away in the process. Here is Heidemann. Had a player coming back door. It was Lee. He whipped it on goal instead and missed the far post. Laurie Surdy, high up in the air, deflects up and goes out of play, so we'll have a stoppage. With 12:27 to go in period number 3, the Engineers hanging on to a 1-goal lead.
Boy, when Beaton plants his feet, goes on the backhand, he certainly is a strong guy to knock off the puck. He's taking it to the net there.
Goals in this one from Ryan Mashey and Jacob Lee for the Engineers. Austin Wong scoring at the 1:48 mark of period 3. That made it 2-1 after a review shot from Smolinski, saved by Gibson. There is no rebound available.
Nice win by RPI there off the draw. It's a centerman, Mazzotti.
Gibson swallowed up that shot that you saw there from Max Smolinski. High off the glass and into the defensive end. Farrell with a lot of speed, barreling around, centering pass, but Miller couldn't collect the bouncing puck. A lot of speed there for Sean Farrell, who was able to get around Smolinski and get a pass in front. Could not connect, though, on the other end with Miller. Deflected the rest of the way. Strom moves it along, but Miller's able to pick it off. He and Coronado battling. Now it's Healy off of the wall. Low for Miller, and again for Coronado. Strom is able to pick it off, however. Knocked up in the air out to center. Mazzotti laid the hit coming through the middle on Healy. The Crimson, however, are able to grab possession back. Coronado will pass towards Gaffney, but his backhand feed, not enough steam on it. And now here come the Engineers, led by Maschie. He cuts to the middle, does Ryan Maschie, but the puck was bouncing on him. Was unable to make a play, either a pass or a shot, so LaFerriere will send it in deep. He and Gaffney in on the forecheck, but it's pulled away by Laurie Surtee, who will lead the rush. Booty will flip it back behind Gibson's net after the puck kind of exploded on him a bit. Lee was trying to get a pass back to the point for Surtee, but it's picked off. LaFerriere on the near side tries to make a move around Surtee. Got the puck by him, not himself though. Karpa, backdoor feed. That one got blocked by Klee. Karpa gets it loose for Barr, kept in at the line. Here is Seedham, near side. Gaffney, shot save. Rebound knocked away from Watson's net. Kept in by Karpa, who backhands it in deep. Surtee unable to grab it. Gaffney sent a pass in front. Loose for Seedham. Waits for a lane. He shoots. Save made. Gaffney on the rebound. Poke checked away by Klee in the near corner, who sends it up off the boards and out to center. Lee will send a backhand in deep. A much-needed change for the Engineers. Good chances for the Crimson to tie the game.
Yeah, definitely. Lee got away with a hook there, right at the top, at the blue line almost, earlier on in that sequence for Harvard.
Seedham sends it the length. Hallbauer has it stolen away. Merrick Hayduk in on the forecheck, but the Engineers grab possession right on back. John Evans heard the footsteps coming from Moore. Now it's Wong backhanding it in deep as we're at the 10-minute mark here in period 3. We've played 50 of the 60 minutes, and the Engineers are hanging on to a 2-1 lead, and they've drawn a penalty and will go to the power play for the first time in this one. As they were exiting their zone, a Crimson player guilty. And RPI will head to the man advantage.
That's front with the hook right there. Call by the official who's standing right there. Got the stick underneath the arm. Kind of a can opener type.
Well, we'll tell you more about the power play when we return. 9:53 to go, third period here in Troy. 2-1 RPI over Harvard. You're watching RPI Engineers hockey on ESPN+.
We are boundary-pushing change agents. We do what it takes to make things happen together. It's our collaborative spirit that sparks creativity and pushes us to think beyond ourselves. We're scrappy and unabashedly enthusiastic about our passions and projects. We are hardwired for the havoc of change. We know it isn't easy, that theories can fail and world-changing can feel futile. But that's the calm before the brilliant storm. The breath you take before you break through. Small change comes from asking why. Changing the world comes from asking, why not? That's the question we ask everyone, from freshmen to faculty. It's the question that fuels us to find the next new. The question we ask you, why not change the world?
9:53 to go, third period here at the Houston Fieldhouse. 2-1 lead for the Engineers of RPI over the Harvard Crimson, and they go to the power play for the first time in this one. The power play this season for the Engineers, 7 of 38, clicking at 18.4%. This one sent the length as the penalty kill for Harvard, 13 of 14 to begin their season, 92.9% success rate. They were a perfect 7 of 7 last weekend against Brown and Yale on their kill. Glove down at the line there by Barr. That one is deflected up and goes into the Engineers bench. So the face-off will come back to the neutral zone. The power play for the Engineers last weekend, 1 for 4 in their loss to St. Lawrence. 0 for 5 in a 3-0 loss at the hands of Clarkson. One of those areas, Coach, where a good power play can solve a lot of your issues offensively, and the Engineers are still very much building to that.
Yes, they have to make sure that they do not let up here and outwork these PK guys from Harvard, because Harvard can sting you on the PK as well.
3 aside, they are battling for the loose puck. Here is LaFerriere, who tried to send a puck through the legs of Austin Heidemann, but a good play on defense by Heidemann to knock that puck away. So the Engineers will regroup in their own end here on the man advantage. Already, though, 45 seconds gone by. The penalty against Henry Thrun, the call a hook. He sits for 2. A captain on this team. Here comes LaFerriere. He'll skate it to the blue line to center, and he'll backhand it the rest of the way, and his team will go for a change. Massey leaves for Laurie Surrey, as the Engineers going through a couple of changes of their power play unit as well. Surrey leaves for Gagnon. Now it's Walsh ahead for Beaton, who will chip it in deep. Jack Barr goes back, sends it off the near side boards, kept in by Surrey. Puck deflects into the corner. Barr tries again, gloved down by Laurie Surrey. Now into the corner, John Beaton battles for it. 2 aside, now a third member, it's Gagnon, who comes in to try to help. Stolen away by Coronado, and Farrell, however, turned over. Gagnon nearly sprung Beaton and Walsh in on a partial 2-on-1, but the pass didn't connect. Farrell sprays it off in the near side boards. Coronado will backhand it the rest of the way. 3 seconds and 2 remaining on the penalty against Henry Thrun, so the power play goes by the wayside for the Engineers, 0 for 1 on the evening so far. Here comes John Evans for Nikkanen, who sends it on goal. Gibson makes the save. Rebound for Evans, however. He's on the far side. To the point, it's Klee. Off the end boards, rebounded out in front. Nobody home, however, to grab the rebound. Long pass across, finds Shore. Shore drops for Langenbrunner, who sends below the goal. Hallbauer's able to find that one. Nikkanen tried to knock it out to center. Langenbrunner is able to grab that one. Sends for Gaffney, who's knocked to the ice. And now they battle 2 aside in the far corner for possession. Hallbauer's able to find it. His pass got popped up in the air. Nobody in consistent possession yet. Eventually the Engineers do grab it. Popped high in the air, looking for Mazzotti, who was unable to settle a bouncing puck. He tried to kick it down with his right skate, but the puck would not sit. Took a bit of an awkward bounce for him as well. A good chance, though, for the Engineers, leaving their defensive end quickly, Coach.
One of the best plays in college hockey.
Here's Wong. He was unable to get a shot away. The Engineers will take it back through center, led ahead by Brendan Booty. Pass to Massey was knocked down with the stick by Thrun. So Harvard will have to regroup in their own end. Healy's pass was in the skates of Thrun. Lee causing a bit of havoc. He knocked the puck away, but Thrun is able to take it right on back. He'll start the breakout. Here is Wong at the center line. Whipped below Watson's goal. Strom will go in and begin the battle for the puck. Booty pops it back for Strom. Now it's Nick Ardenaz. Lee was given a pass, that bit of a hospital pass there as Treska whips it on net. Watson made the glove save and went in and out of his glove. Put in a not exactly advantageous situation for a pass where he kind of had to look down with a player coming right in front of him.
Yeah, dangerously close to that defensive blue line as well.
Miller and Ardenaz scrap for possession. Coronado's able to take it free. Good play there by Ciccarello to knock that puck loose. Here is Herman at the center line. Sends into the near corner. Ciccarello will go in on the forecheck. Knocked along the near side boards. Surrey was unable to keep the line as Joe Miller was able to force it over. Here is Klee. Pops it all the way down. He sent it up in the air, was looking for somebody, but connected with nobody, and the Engineers have iced the puck with 5:13 to go. End of a long shift, Coach. No timeouts available for Dave Smith's group, so they'll have to remain out there.
Yeah, they're going to try to take their time getting to this face-off, but you can tell anytime a player goes to his knees with the stick, he's trying to grab some air.
Face-off won by the Crimson. Seedham up top for Gaffney. He scores! The icing proves costly as Alex Gaffney fires through a screen. His second goal of the season has tied the game at 2.
Well, I tell you what, that was a set play right off the draw with the center. Gaffney comes right up to the middle. They give it to him, and you got traffic in front of Watson. And it's in the back of the net. Great shot. High. Watson's got to go down to the butterfly in order to find this puck, and it's over his shoulder.
Gaffney, a sophomore out of West Orange, New Jersey. One of the players on this roster who miraculously does not carry any draft affiliation, as the puck is popped up and into the Engineers bench, so they'll drop it again with exactly 5 minutes remaining in the third. Gaffney had the game-winning goal against Yale last weekend. Also 2 assists coming in the season opener for the Crimson against Dartmouth. So second goal of the season, 5th point as well for the sophomore Gaffney.
Well, the thing, sorry, I was just going to say this thing on that too, on the goals, that RPI got caught with their 4th line out there.
4th line and the icing off the clearing attempt from Mason Klee, so it does prove costly. No timeout available for Dave Smith's group, so the Crimson have tied the game at 2, and it'll prove for a very interesting final 5 minutes of regulation and possibly beyond. Here is Thrun, top of the circle. That shot blocked. He gloves down his own rebound. Here is Thrun, back up top. One-timer, LaFerriere missed the net. Knocked out to center by Beaton. Here comes Heidemann. Near side, tries to fire one on goal. It gets blocked.
Here's
defensively, Seedham knocked it down. It's knocked back to center.
Sorry, I was just going to say, here's the push that I was referring to earlier with regards to Harvard.
Play is offsides. Where were you seeing that just now?
As far as the offensive pressure,
I missed the pushing. That's what I missed.
yeah. Well, it was right before, and then RPI took the icing.
Okay.
It was during that whole sequence where they were starting to come.
Face-off controlled by the Crimson. Here is DeVoe. Off the boards for Shore. He goes one-on-one against Lee into that near side corner. Now it's Strom. Strom, a breakout feed on the tape of Lee. Near side it's Mashey. He shoots. That's blocked. Lee and Mashey will battle once more. Barr has it pinned along the end boards. Healy also battling for possession. Kicked loose. Mashey tried to whip it all the way back to the point for Smolinski, who will step up and keep it low. Mashey low for Lee. For Klee, who was not manning that point. He was a little bit further towards the center of the offensive end, so the Engineers will have to regroup. Walsh pops it in deep. Niikanen will go in on the forecheck against Barr and strip him of the puck. Niikanen to the point. Walked by Klee. On goal. Deflected, and it missed the net wide. Good chance there for the Engineers. A lot of traffic in front on the shot from Mason Klee, but it didn't end up connecting. And the Crimson will get it started in their own end, led by a coin. A coin met by Niikanen, who's been a real pest in the forecheck on this shift so far. Farrell tried to get it to the line. It's kept in. A pass for Mazzotti, but he had his stick lifted by Miller, who sends a pass in front for Farrell. Farrell goes against Klee and missed a hit attempt on Klee, went headlong into the boards in the process. Surtees able to find the loose puck. Trying to avoid the oncoming Coronado. Niikanen sends off the end boards and out to the neutral zone. He's able to take it away. Find TJ Walsh, who's knocked to the ice. Mazzotti now goes 1-on-4, 1-on-5. Using his large frame in order to rag the puck a little bit and get his team a line change. LaFerriere sprays it off the near boards. Brought in by Gaffney, looking for a trailer. He's got him. Backdoor feed was looking for LaFerriere. That was Thrun who made that pass. Couldn't connect. Ahead for Beaton, who was able to deflect the puck in. Moore grabs possession and loses Beaton in the process behind his own net. It's Moore at the center line, who sends it as far as Carpa. Now it's LaFerriere. He shoots, blocked. Gaffney for Thrun. He whiffed on the one-time attempt. LaFerriere behind the net at minute 45 to go. Now it's Gaffney. Tried to center, blocked off the skate of Beaton. Gaffney once more to the top. It's Thrun on goal, glove down by Watson. And after all is said and done, a relatively easy save for the Engineers netminder, gloving down the shot from Henry Thrun.
Well, that was due to the RPI defense. They did a great job of making sure, especially Agnew. He was marking number 59, Carper, making sure that he wasn't taking the eyes away from Watson. So Jack was he was able to see that puck all the way in.
Face-offs in this one, 26-25 in favor of the Engineers. The Crimson grab control. Strom goes one-on-one against Wong into the far boards, pulled away by Lee. Trying to find a little bit of space here is Jacob Lee, sent off the end boards for Smolinski. Popped out to center, now it's Massey, 2-on-1 with Lee, for Lee, and the puck is deflected up and over his stick. Massey went for the pass right away, and it might not have been available quite yet. Now it's Hayduk on the far side, sent on goal, it missed the net. Tresca will step in on the near side. Send low for Wong, now it's Hayduk behind the cage, marked by Smolinski. Sent to the point, Thrun on goal, deflected, never got to the net, so Henry Thrun will step in and try it again. Here is Thrun, that one's blocked as well. Strom pulls it out of harm's way, now it's Ryan Massey, he'll go for a line change and send the puck in deep in the process. 45 seconds to go, a buzz in the crowd here at the Houston Fieldhouse, rooting on their Engineers as a long pass doesn't connect, but Coronado will go back. This one will be icing against the Crimson.
I'm thinking that if they're thinking it's an intentional offside, then it's all the way back into the defensive zone.
Bingo, there it is. Quick look at the rest of the scores in the ECAC this evening. Clarkson leading Colgate 3-0 midway through the third. It is Cornell all over St. Lawrence tonight. Big Red leading 5-1 with 5 minutes to go in that one. Princeton leading Yale down in New Haven 2-0 halfway through the third. Quinnipiac doubling up Brown 4-2 with 7 minutes to go. And then it is Union with a narrow lead over Dartmouth 2-1 with about 2.5 minutes left. Union coming back from down 1 with a goal in the second and then another in the third to take a 2-1 lead. Important to note, the Crimson will take on the Dutchman tomorrow. The Dartmouth Big Green here at the Houston Fieldhouse tomorrow evening, 7 o'clock. Can't join us at the Houston Fieldhouse? Well, Dan will be here, I'll be here. Hope you'll join us here. Big face-off coming to the left of Mitchell Gibson. Lee will lean in opposite Karpa. It is Karpa in the Crimson who gain possession off of the face-off win. Thrun flips it to the line. Farrell knocks it nearly parallel along the defensive blue line. Out to center, Coronado will feed it in deep. Hallbauer off of the near side boards. It ends up getting over the blue line, and Massey lays a big hit. The play goes offsides, and Coronado sends a shove back in Massey's direction after the big hit right along the blue line. So the faceoff will come back out to the neutral zone. Here's a look at the hit.
Oh, they're going to call it offside, but he was looking down at the puck. I mean, he had no idea Massey was coming.
Coronado and Lee on the draw. Klee ends up with possession. Off of the glass and all the way down past Henry Thrun, and this will be icing against the Engineers. So with 11.8 seconds left in period 3, the faceoff will come back in the defensive end for the Engineers. A big icing that will keep the Engineers unit the same for the time being as well.
Yes, and Harvard gets to choose which side they want to draw on. And they're talking about it now.
Coronado, Matthew Coronado, that is the one who is directing traffic. Puck is down, controlled by Lee and the Engineers. Massey leads Booty ahead. 5 seconds to go. Brendan Booty into the corner, knocked away there by Thrun. Sent a pass in front, nobody home. Cleed tried to chop it on goal, but the buzzer will sound, ending regulation here at the Houston Fieldhouse in Troy. Will get set for a 3-on-3 overtime period in what has been a very exciting game through 60 minutes of play, to say the least. Shots on goal 33-21 in favor of the Crimson after 60 minutes of play. And Coach, it was largely the Engineers' period in period 2. Would you say that was largely the Crimson's period in period 3?
Yeah, they came out and they scored real early. And I think they did a real good job of maintaining their offensive pressure and got the second one. And RPI, I think, had they capitalized on the power play, that would have been the insurance goal that they were looking for, but unfortunately that didn't happen. So here we are going into 3-on-3, and fasten your seatbelt, because this is going to be, there's a lot of ice out there, and both teams have real good speed.
A lot of ice, a lot of talent on both sides. The 2 goals from the Engineers coming a minute 9 apart in the second period. Ryan Massey scoring unassisted, and Jacob Lee scoring, or John Evans, excuse me, I had that written down incorrectly, I apologize. John Evans scoring from John Beaton. That made it 2-0. The first goal of the game for the Crimson coming a minute and 48 into period 3. Austin Wong scoring with assists from Merrick Hayduke and Kyle LeCoyne. And the game-tying goal at 14:54 off of a set play off the face-off. Alex Gaffney scoring from Ryan Seedham and Zach Karpa. That tied the score at 2. That's where we stand heading into a 3-on-3 overtime period. If this game does get past the 5-minute overtime period, it will go to a shootout, which will make for even more interesting theater, given how well both goaltenders have done in this one and the kind of talent that the Crimson have on their roster in terms of their draft and relationship to NHL teams. But we're in for a very good one here and a fantastic conclusion on either side. Thanks so much for joining us here on ESPN Plus. If you're just joining us, he's Dan Fridgen, I'm Dan Ball. Thanks for being with us here on this Friday evening. The Engineers back in action tomorrow evening against Dartmouth, but well, some exciting hockey to go before we get to that point here at the Houston Fieldhouse. I know you're not necessarily one for predictions, but more expectations for the overtime period.
You know, I was just looking I was looking at the shots on goal after that second period. It was 21-17 for Harvard.
Okay.
And Harvard's averaging 32 shots a game, and RPI is averaging 28 shots a game. So that means that both are going to need to get 11 shots in the period.
Here is Lee, makes a toe drag, tried to get around Thrun. Unable to do so. Lee, Massey, and Hallbauer for the RPI Engineers. It is Farrell with Coronado and Henry Thrun, and the pass from the aforementioned Thrun makes Farrell regroup in his own end. A lot of speed. Here comes Sean Farrell in on the far side. Farrell all the way in on goal goes Farrell, and he was unable to finish on the other side. A lot of speed that seemed to catch all 3 Engineers a bit off guard. Lee will send a space pass ahead, allowing Ryan Massey to track it down. Good chance there for Sean Farrell to end this one in the blink of an eye.
Well, good save by Watson with the pad. He got his leg out. Farrell couldn't put it over.
Now Coronado will try it on the other side. This time Brendan Booty was successful in his poke check. Laurie Surtee will pull the puck free and settle things down below his net. Now it's Brendan Booty on the near side. Booty makes a move, pass across for Mazzotti. Sutter Mazzotti, below the goal he goes, knocked off the puck. Led ahead by LaFerriere with speed, a 2-on-1 with the trailer Booty. LaFerriere, a saucer pass to the backhand, and a save by Watson! Healy is denied on the backhand, and that might be the best one of the night, but the Crimson will maintain possession. Here's LaFerriere, he has a knockback over the line.
That was an awesome save, and I think his dad would have put that in.
We'll go with that. I would believe it. Now here is Miller on the far side. Miller back up top for Healy once more. Circles back up top, right above the ECAC hockey logo. Here is Healy, trying to get around the marking player, John Evans, who was doing a nice job keeping him from really getting anywhere. Mazzotti lays the hit. That separates LaFerriere from the puck, and the Crimson will go for a change. 2 minutes gone by here in overtime.
Great save by Jack Watson. He's played outstanding tonight.
He has indeed. The Crimson ranked number 13 in the country. Pass back for John Beaton, who brings it in on the near side. Here comes Beaton shooting, and a blocker save by Gibson. Fantastic stop on the other end as John Beaton gained a lot of speed there.
Oh, he's got some wheels, and he can shoot the puck too. Real good save there by Gibson.
Speaking of wheels and speed, that was Gaffney leaving for Karpa. Now back up top, here is Barr. Leaving for Gaffney on the near side. He'll cut his way to the net. Sharp angle shot, saved by Watson. He can handle that one. Now it's Gaffney again, and he scores! A shot off the back foot from Alex Gaffney eludes Jack Watson. And 2 minutes and 44 seconds into overtime, the Harvard Crimson have come back to defeat the Engineers in overtime.
Well, Gaffney gets his second goal of the game. I don't think they were expecting him to take that off the wall. But you know what? It's a left-hand shot. He's coming off the right wall. He just throws it at the net, and it goes off of one of the defenders. That was Klee for RPI. Take another look at it here. Yeah, goes off of Klee and down and deflected pass. That's the only way we're going to get a puck by Watson in overtime here.
It wasn't going to happen naturally. It deflects off of Mason Klee in the back of the net. That is Alex Gaffney's second straight goal in this game. He scores the game tying goal midway through the third. He scores the game winning goal, his third of the season at 2:44 in overtime. And the Crimson come back from down 2 after 2 periods of play to win this one 3-2 in overtime at the Houston Fieldhouse. Coach, your final thoughts on what was a back and forth and very exciting game here before we bid everyone adieu for the evening.
Well, you know, we knew that Harvard had some offense, and I thought RPI played a great game, and they certainly deserved a better fate than losing in overtime, because I thought they played very, very well. They had a great second period. I mean, Harvard didn't do anything, you know, that was off the charts. It was just, you know, coming, taking some shots, and unfortunately there, one gets deflected by Watson, but here's another look. There's the first goal, which was scored by Austin Wong. All 3 goals on behalf of Harvard, which was challenged by Coach Smith, but I think what happened right here when Hollenbauer gives him a little bit of a shove, he's not able to get out of that crease area.
Austin Wong, first goal of the season that ended up changing the tides dramatically when you look back at it in hindsight. That made it 2-1, this one made it 2-2.
Yeah, this was right off the draw after RPI iced the puck.
And have a great night. You've been watching RPI Engineers Hockey on ESPN+.